Our top story, the first cries for help from a domestic violence victim go unanswered.
The levels of harm are intensely high.
Tonight, St. Louis police explain their response.
We are heartbroken for her.
A St. Louis woman beaten and forced to FaceTime her mother to say goodbye, screamed for help. Neighbors heard, called police, but they didn't respond. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. In a story you'll only see on 5 on Your Side, Laura Barcheski sat down with St. Louis police and a domestic violence advocate to get answers.
Mike and Kelly, St. Louis police did end up responding that night, but only after the victim escaped her partner and called police with more details. St. Louis police tell me that is the unfortunate reality of how they triage 911 calls. Around 6 o'clock on Saturday night, court documents say a St. Louis woman got in an argument with her boyfriend inside their apartment in the 1500 block of Washington Avenue. She told St. Louis police she asked him to get sober. That's when he pulled a gun, started hitting her with it. She started screaming for help, saying he was going to kill her, hoping someone on the other side of the wall would call police.
911 was called, and they were notified of possible domestic disturbance, man, woman, yelling.
But police didn't come. For nearly 2 hours, this woman fought for her life. He told her he would kill her and everyone she loved, forced her to FaceTime her mother to say goodbye, then cocked his gun and held it to her head. Eventually, the victim was able to get away from him. He ran off and she called police herself.
That call came in around 8 o'clock and it changed everything. And within minutes, our officers were notified on the street and were en route to that apartment complex.
Police say when they got there, she was covered in bruises and scrapes, and the investigation led them on a search of the apartment where they found drugs and 3 more guns. Domestic violence advocate Karen Aresti says in a matter of seconds, there could have been a different outcome.
Domestic violence victim is 5 times more likely to be subject to a homicide than if a gun is not involved. The risk is also, by the way, that the abuser may also decide to commit suicide.
Police Director of Public Affairs Mitch McCoy says between 5 and 8 p.m. there were 27 calls for service, including a shots fired call. I asked him why they didn't respond the first time.
At the time, there was no information about weapons being involved or of a potentially life-threatening situation. And I can tell you that there is not a police officer in this building that would not run into that apartment, knowing what we know today, to save her.
Were there enough officers at the time to respond to all of these calls? Were you up to the staff that you needed for that evening?
That's a good question. We don't get into the specific numbers of how many officers are on the street at one time, and that is for an officer safety reasons. But what I can tell you is that there were more than multiple officers.
The suspect is still out there and possibly armed, but police assure me they're working to find him and get justice for this victim. If you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence, the Safe Connections hotline is open 24/7. Call 314-531-2003.